Hello YouTube, welcome to my first programming video on my new channel, Basement Programming. For this video I decided to take a look at something you see on a lot of websites like PayPal and eBay, and that's password validation requirements. A lot of these websites require that your password be at least 8 characters long, contain numbers, and contain capital letters, things like this. You see the password tips. It gives you some tips for secure passwords. So I was actually on PayPal the other day and this popped up and I got curious as to what the code behind something like this looks like. So I decided to write a Java program that basically validates passwords. So I decided to do this program because it's fairly simple. It's only 80 lines of code. It's reusable. It's pretty easily modified. I figure this might be useful for someone out there, and if there's any interest in it, I can continue to work on it. Maybe do a username, password, maybe build a database or something out of this if people show interest. So I'll go ahead and walk you through the syntax here. So yeah, let's go ahead and start right up on top here, and I used as many comments as I could throughout basically this entire program. So if there's someone out there who's new to programming, you can follow along with the comments and figure out how to make changes to basically tailor it to fit your needs. So anyway, this program uses a driver class, validate password, to get user input from the screen using the scanner class. The validate password class calls the pass check method that checks to see if the entered password is valid. The way that I have it set up right now, a valid password must have at least 8 characters, must contain 2 capital letters, must contain 2 numbers, and can only contain letters and numbers. If the password is valid, the result will display valid password. If not, the result will display an appropriate error message. So the validate password class, all that this does is uses the scanner to get keyboard input, and it sets input password equal to input and then uses that password to call the pass check method. And this pass check method is the part of the program that's the reusable part that I figured, will probably be the most useful for someone out there who's looking to reuse this code. So it returns a string. It takes a string argument. The result, which is what it returns, starts off as being valid password, and I use this int length to count the number of characters in the password, number count to keep track of how many numbers are in the password, cap count to keep track of how many capital letters are in the password. So I run a loop, and basically in these first 3 if statements, I'm just checking, or this if statement right here, I'm just checking to make sure that each character is either a lowercase letter, capital letter, or a number. And if it's not, the result becomes password contains invalid character. Otherwise, you're moving along. This if statement right here counts the number of numbers, so basically counts to 2. If it's a valid password, it'll have at least 2 numbers. If not, obviously it'll return an error later on. And this counts the capital letters the same way that numbers are counted. And this is where length is added up. This is the length of the password. You end your for loop right here. This right here, if number count is less than 2, so if there's less than 2 numbers in the password, result is not enough numbers in the password. If capital letter count's less than 2, obviously it'll return not enough capital letters in the password. And if the length of the password is less than 8, it'll return password is too short. And at the end of this method, you just return the result. So I will walk you through a sample here. We'll go ahead and run this. Alright, let's go ahead and enter some passwords and we'll see what we get for results. So we'll do one that's too short first. Password's too short. Alright, let's do one that's long enough. Not enough capital letters in the password. Alright, so let's do one that contains enough capitals and is long enough. Not enough numbers. Need at least 2 numbers, 2 capitals, and it has to be 8 characters long. And that's a valid password. So anyways, thank you for watching. If you're interested in seeing more of this type of stuff, let me know in the comments section below. If you have any questions, I can answer them down there as well. But be sure to check out my channel, rate, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.